Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Ethelor Plays Go. Today we're going to be going over some real games I've played with people, and we're going to correct the play that we've seen based on the concepts that we've talked about in this course so far. So now we've talked a bit about theory, and now we can talk a bit about application of that theory. So here's a five-stone handicap game that I played against somebody. As I mentioned, white normally starts with something like e4. And then I mentioned that normally I would go for a move like d4 or f4 to once again try and keep black connected and to minimize the risk of white separating any of black's stones. Where if white plays here, black can play this knight move and keep white completely surrounded. In this game, black didn't really know this kind of concept yet. So what they do is they play a move like e4 to say, okay, well, I'll keep my stones connected in this way. We can already see that the shape is perhaps a little bit inefficient, but because, well, there aren't really any big inefficiencies in black shape. So no, forget about that. As white, I need to overplay a little bit to try and get that advantage again, because the handicap is just so enormous. I can imagine playing, extending like this, but then black will be able to play here, and as I mentioned, if white doesn't play anywhere, white will already struggle to make one eye if black just stays completely connected. So black, luckily, is able to separate white stones. This follows the theme of connection versus separation. And so this move is great. This is a really great move by black, and white's in big trouble. So once again, I'm trying... It might be a bit confusing to see this as a new player. That's kind of the point, where I'm trying to play another move somewhere else. But of course, if black just plays here, as luckily black actually noticed, black has a pretty decent grasp of the game. White's an Atari, and also white is now separated from the A stone over here. So now white has 3 stones, and none of them are connected, and black has already gotten one of them in Atari, so black is doing pretty well. White descends, black also descends, and I can continue playing a move like d2. Black will turn, and then once again, white only has 2 liberties, and it looks like white's going to get captured. There's nothing really that white can do. Say the white descends again, black will just play c1, and then captured. Like, there's not much. So white can already start playing away, and then black can already capture the stone, but doesn't really have to. Can also play other moves, like maybe h4, that might be interesting. Looking to play g5 next. So, okay, so I play on this direction. And black captures a stone, which is fine. And then I try and go for, once again, thinking about the connection, thinking about the shape between black stones, and coming in between. This already, I think, creates a bit of a difficulty. Let's see, does black spot it? Black just captures, which is unnecessary. Say that black comes through here. White, once again, has stones that have only 2 liberties. Black on the outside here has still 3, and can very easily connect with this f4 move. So say white tries to disconnect, black can capture, and then white can never come out over here because white is just captured. So capturing here is perhaps a little bit slow. Black could have achieved more, didn't have to be so safe. And white can play again here and remove 1 liberty from this stone here. This stone. So now there's 3 liberties versus 5 liberties. So white's perhaps a little bit stronger, although I still think that there is this weakness at d5, which luckily black sees. I think, yeah, I was thinking maybe white can play c8, but then b5 will just capture instantly in a ladder. So yeah, there's not much that white can do. White descends, black follows, and white plays this Hane over here. Atari, and yeah, this place is basically resolved. Black is doing so well in this game. I think I ended up resigning the game because black ended up playing so tightly. So okay, this area is lost. I'm going to try somewhere else. Once again, black doesn't have to be so cautious in capturing the stone. The stone's already captured. You might want to respond to white's move. Whereas if white gets a move, that's already a little bit good for white in this area. So that's something that black wants to prevent. Notice now that black's 1 stone now has 2 liberties. Whereas, say that black responded, I mean, black can also play something more solid and has far more liberties. 5 liberties versus the 3 that white has. So okay, that's a little bit good for white. White's able to connect the stones, but luckily this h5 is great because it keeps A and B separated. So we can see how this is broken shape for white. So that was pretty good. Let's see. I think I target from the wrong direction here. I think I should go this way. Because if I come down here, then I can play g9. Whereas if I play h9, black descends. This is self-Atari. So already we can do a little bit of reading and, understand shortages of liberties and that kind of stuff. So okay, that's a game that I played. Black played very well. So if you ever play a handicap game, then you should try and play a little bit like black does here. They did a really good job. All right, let's try a different one. This is against somebody who is a bit newer and who perhaps didn't grasp the game quite so well immediately. Not that they do badly, but black really did amazingly in the last game. So already, black attaches on the bottom here, which from our last video, we know that this shape here, it's not so easy to keep black connected. At the same time, there's this extra stone at e5, and so you want to play moves above that. But also, if you're towards the bottom of the board, so the connection, the shape here is a little bit different because black has the stability of the side of the board. So let's say white, oh yeah, of course, white plays Hane here, curls around, and let's see what black does. So here, this C1 stone, it's not very clear what this is doing. White can already kind of try and move inside here and separate the connection between these two stones. And also, by playing on the edge of the board, black only has, instead of having a full 4 liberties on a stone, has 3 liberties. So, okay, and also, all things aside, let's see. Yeah, white can capture this A stone here. So that's already pretty good profit for white. Black descends, but we already know a little bit about ladders. There are 2 ways that white can play. White can play this move or here. Either way, black is captured. Black continues. White continues. If black continues here, then black will get captured. So black tries to keep the connection between their stones by playing A. White will capture as they would anyway. And then black drops down to this first line here. Normally it would be better just to play here, because if black descends, then that leaves a threat that white can give by playing at A. So if white plays here, say black plays away, that can already create some difficulties. Although in this specific shape, black can curl here, and white's not able to capture black stones because that's self-Atari. So maybe black plays here, white can extend. If black extends again, then this no longer works because now black has 2 liberties. So being able to extend once was able to means that white is strong enough to cut now. And so black will have to probably connect here. And then white might think about turning, or maybe trying to keep black separated. Anyway, this is an alternative game. We shouldn't get too far into it. White plays over here. Once again, we're trying to deal with the connection between these stones here. So instead of a move like A, black tries B instead, bumping against white stone. White then goes for the connection between these 2 stones. And black then pushes white through, creating that broken shape that we've talked about before. So instead, what black might do, as I've mentioned in previous positions, might try A or B. So this way, white can try and play over here. I don't think black should try and disconnect white, but this might already be enough. Say white gets connected, black already has enough points to win the game. But say that black does try to disconnect. This cut will be quite difficult to deal with because now A and B only have 2 liberties. So if black saves 1, then the other will get captured. Likewise, say black plays over here to save this stone. You might notice already that this is empty triangle, which is bad shape. So maybe black should play here instead. White can then capture this cutting stone. And so the value of stones can change depending on if they would cut, if they have tactical significance or tactical value. So here, these cutting stones are quite important, and it's painful to lose them. That's why black might step back with a move like d4. So okay, white pushes through, and then I'm not quite sure why I don't continue, but I play over here. Once again, we have bad shape on this group here. We might instead want to play a move like this, and then if white tries to keep black separated, we'll keep white separated. This is now aiming at Atari at A or Atari at B. So you can see how like the handicap stones really help a lot for black to fight against white. White curls around, black descends, and plays an empty triangle. What might have been more efficient is to play one space away. That being said, white probably has this clever play here, and we call clever plays to 2Gs, where white can play f8. Black can't come in here because they'll get captured, so they'll have to Atari from this side. And then after white connects, black is in Atari, so at 1, so black will connect, and then Atari, connect, Atari, black is captured. So this f8 move already captures black stones here. Already captures black. Yeah, so playing a little bit slowly here. I have no idea why I played this attachment, because playing, just extending here, cutting black shape off, that's already enough for white. So let's see. There are a couple more moves that were played, but I don't think there are any more really important concepts in this game. Yeah, so we ended here. All right, those are 2 games, and now let's cover a game between 2 people of the same level, as opposed to me playing against a much weaker player with a handicap. So on an empty board, you might consider playing in the corners, because if you think about it, in chess, you like playing in the center because the pieces are mobile, and so the center of the board becomes a big crossing point that you want to control. Whereas in Go, the stones are stationary; they don't move. And so what you want is to not necessarily play in the center of the board, although on the 9x9 board that's not such a bad idea. But playing at the side of the board helps to create a more stable kind of position. So that's already a good start for black. White follows suit, and then black tries to split the board a little bit so that they can get a little bit more. We already can see that this move here is perhaps a bit slow. White can consider playing a bit faster, so playing a move like here, or even contesting black and playing on the other side. And this will create a fighting game where whoever has a stronger reading wins the game. Black continues, white, black, white. So already we can see that black is forming a nice shape here, and is looking towards the rest of the board to make points there. Whereas white is looking more towards capturing this corner over here. White tries to wedge in between black shape, and so this diagonal move here is still connected, even though it's not directly connected. If white comes on either side, black is able to connect, and white will get broken shape in the process. So yeah, here we have broken shape again. So this, unless there's a special reason for the c4 move, it's not really a move that I would recommend. Instead, what you might do is play over here to contest this area, or maybe continue to expand over here. There are some options that white has. Black even knew to play d3, and white tries to cut. This Atari here is the wrong direction. If black plays from this direction, then white is immediately caught in a ladder. So that would have been a better direction for black. So black plays from this direction, white extends, and black extends over here. But black has neglected their stone at g5. So white can just turn here, and this shape will probably promptly die. So black extends down to the bottom here. White plays h4, which is perfectly fine to capture the stone. And already here, j2 doesn't really work. White can just capture, and then it's not clear what j2 is doing, which is what happens in the game. Black descends. It might have been better at this point to play over here, because black will continue to make these points on the side and try to reduce white G8. So say that black has another move, then can really reduce the white's potential for points here. But okay, D2 is probably the smaller area. H2 is perhaps a bit unnecessary. Say that white tries to make these points over here, then is there a way that black can connect? Not really. Oh, there's this, but can still cut black off. So there are things that black can do. Yeah, but at the same time, if white wants to defend this area, then white will want to play a move like E2 instead, because that defends the whole area as opposed to just this stone. Black descends again, which is perhaps a bit slow. If you want to reduce white, then continue, or play over here, which is a pretty big move. And then white plays his turn. Black can already play a move like this to keep white separated, or maybe he can play from this direction, and white won't be able to make two eyes in the corner here. So say black plays away, white plays again. Can we kill this shape here? If black plays his Hane, we've seen this shape when we were doing some reading problems before, and then say black plays again, then this also keeps white from getting two separate spaces. So black has to play a full 3 moves in order for white to make a living group here. And we know that it's a living group because now there are 2 separate spaces here. There are 2 eyes. And so if black plays inside, that's an invalid move. Black gets captured immediately because there are no liberties. So yeah, that's some ideas. So black plays over here, which is still a big part of the board. We've been looking at it for the whole game. White captures here, which isn't the biggest thing. But E8 is still a little bit inefficient. You can imagine playing a move like G8. White's not able to separate these stones. So let's see. So now we create a ko here. But if black had just extended Atari and capture, then white isn't able to do anything here anymore. So that would have been simpler than just playing this ko. But of course, white doesn't play the ko, which is over here. And there's also a lot of cutting points between white stones here. So Atari, again, yeah, so white's not really gaining anything by playing in this area. Once again, E9's a bit slow. We can play other moves. We might even be able to play a stone further now, because now we have this extra A stone. So if, let's say, white plays over here, yeah, perhaps not. Black can try to connect underneath. So that means white's going to have to Hane. Then maybe Atari from this side. And if white connects, then they'll get captured. Therefore, they need to capture right away. If black connects, white will have to keep black separated. And then there's this ko here. So you can already see how, by saying like which moves are valid or invalid, which lead to good or bad results, that already teaches you a bit how to read in real games. But yeah, this game continues, and already there's a lot of concepts. I appreciate that perhaps I went a little bit fast. I know, like, when I play people in real life, they can sometimes say, oh, I don't quite understand this. Can you explain this again? And, oh, I don't remember the logic between why the shape is alive or dead. Can you recount that? Ultimately, you're going to have to play games, real games, in order to improve. But I hope that by explaining some general ideas and by showing you now how to apply them in real games, that already puts you in a pretty good position to play games and to review them. As I mentioned, perhaps you reached out to some Go Discords, or maybe there's a Go club that you're going to. And so if there are any other questions that you have, other than messaging me about it, it's also good if you go to those places and ask other stronger players for advice. That's ultimately what's going to help you the most. All right, so that's basically everything. This course is basically complete at this point. I think there is just one more video that I want to make, perhaps about how resources and what you can do going forward, other than what I just discussed. But yeah, so that's everything. If you enjoyed this content, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.